Welcome to the Engineering, Emotions, and Energy podcast. I am your host, Justin Wink. Now I'm going to say something that many of you may not agree with or you might find really crazy, and that is higher education does not mean you get a higher quality job. It just does not. Now, you might be saying, Justin, you have a Ph.D. in electrical engineering, and you're going to tell me that higher education doesn't give you a higher quality job? Absolutely not. It does not guarantee it. It will likely lead to a much higher paying job? Very likely. But I'm going to ask you, is that all there is to a high quality job? If I offered you $1 million to store nuclear waste in your living room, would you do it? Knowing that every day you're harming the health of yourself and those that you live with? Yet that's often what people are doing when they're taking a job just because it pays really well. They're effectively harming themselves and the people around them just for the sake of money. And higher education can get you a higher paying job. Yet is that what you busted your ass for all those years in school, just to make more money? Or did you want to make more money and impact the world? Did you want to innovate? Did you want to do some great and phenomenal things? Now, as a PhD in electrical engineering with over a decade of experience working in tech, where some jobs have been amazing, some jobs have been, well, they've been like bringing home nuclear waste every day. I've seen that the quality of your job really doesn't depend on education. That can be a component, but it's really, there's three important things. There's the clarity of your dream job, the quality of your communication, and the connections of your network. And yet, so few people focus on these three things. They get caught up on, I need to get the skills, I need to get the education, I just need to wait for there to be more job opportunities. So if you're finishing up college, yet you're not exactly sure where you're going to end up getting your job, then maybe you can relate to the story that I'm about to share, because I'm going to share how I became so passionate about getting people their dream job in tech. Because really it was from my own necessity. It was necessary for me to learn this. And it took me probably about a decade, honestly, to really get to the point where I've got it into a very amazing, repeatable system that I almost unconsciously just do it anytime I realize I'm not in a place where I want to be. So the real turning point for me was in 2015. I had just gotten promoted. I'd been working at my tech company for 5 years, doing circuit design in memory for CPUs. I was effectively succeeding at my dream job that I had dreamed of back when I was like 15, 16 years old, working at a computer shop. The only problem was I was super unhappy with where I was at. I was only working with about the same 4 or 5 people day in, day out. I didn't see my communication skills improving. I didn't see any chance of getting promoted in the next few years. And more than that, I felt stagnant in my learning opportunities. I was going to just kind of keep recycling the same design over and over with little minor tweaks. And it was a technology where, yeah, I wasn't the world-class expert in it yet I knew more about it than the vast majority of people that I came across. And it's just like, is this all there is? Is this all that's going to happen to me? That wasn't how I wanted the story to end. So I started researching how to find my dream job. I was reading books. I was talking to coworkers, friends. I even hired a coach, Michael Burnoff, worked with him. And so I started putting together this framework to engineer my career. And it was interesting because I had the opportunity to do a sabbatical and go travel. I went to Beijing, saw the Great Wall. I went to Thailand, got to go to Bangkok, see that amazing city, then go to Phuket, do the speedboat tour on the Phi Islands, which is like, out of James Bond and a lot of other cool action movies, and see the gorgeous blue water, swim and have the most amazing foods and meet like amazing people, and also spend time in Bali. One of the most impactful parts of that trip was I spent a week in the Philippines, and I spent about 3 of those days really digging deep into exercises from What Color Is Your Parachute and some other readings I had done, and started really figuring out, what is it I don't want? What do I want to avoid? What do I want? And then what would it be like to actually have what it is I found that I wanted. Because it's like, it turned out that I actually really enjoyed the city I was living in. I wanted to learn and grow technically, but I also wanted to learn and grow with my communication skills and be able to have better relationships and relationships with more people. And through that, I got the clarity of where I wanted to move towards. And in less than 6 months, I landed a different job where I was learning a new technology. I was learning about solid state drives, which was done by a completely different organization. And I wouldn't just be working with people, I would be leading people. Frankly, I was not even qualified for this job, but I got it anyway, which is amazing. One of the cheats I got to share with you is do not get disheartened if you read a list of job requirements and you go, I do not meet all these requirements. In fact, I found a study that said if you meet 50% of the job requirements in a job posting, you're just as likely to get the interview and the job as someone who's got 90% plus of matching those job requirements. And even more amazingly is that for women, that requirement is 30%. So even though studies have shown that women are less likely to apply for a job if they don't meet 90% or more of the job requirements, they actually have a very high success rate for interviews and offers with only meeting 30% or more of the job requirements. So just because you aren't 100% qualified on paper doesn't mean don't apply, because really it's just you're not qualified yet. And that's one of the big things was I knew that I wasn't qualified for this role yet. It was something I wanted to grow into, because that's one of the real main things of getting a job that makes it your dream job is not just what will you do, it's who will you become in the process of being great at this job. And what's been really cool is that I've used this framework of how to get a tech job over and over again. I've now probably used this 4 or 5 times to get different jobs, and I've used it many times on interns I've worked with, coaching clients, setting them up for success and getting the job they want. It's even helped my wife help get the job that she wanted. And now I know that anytime I'm not happy with where I'm at, I have a step to get there. And it all was from sort of this low point 5 years ago where I was like, oh my gosh, I've done everything, yet I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. There has to be more than this. And there was, and there still is. It's not a one and done thing. It's sort of an ongoing, continuous process where you figure out you don't want to be there. You go through the process to engineer your career and you make it happen. And then at some point you might decide, whoa, if I've done this, what's the next thing? And you continue to go. It really is kind of like the Amazon for your job where you know it's going to come. Like I'm sure a lot of you in this COVID quarantine time have seen the disruptions, and the 2-day Amazon Prime sometimes has been 4 days, 8 days. Yet you know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. So the job search, as much effort and as much challenge as it might seem, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. There are easier ways. There are better ways. There's sequences, because a lot of times it's the sequence that matters, right? Like you don't wake up, put on your pants, then put on your underwear. You put your underwear first, then you put on your pants. And maybe there's a better way to put on your pants. I do it 2 legs at a time. So that's something I could teach you. So it's a matter of sequence, and it's a matter of them finding the most effective and efficient ways. And I found a great system, and I love teaching it to other people. And I know my story's not over, and I'm sure yours is just beginning. So the real question is, how would you like your story to end? What is the next chapter you want to write? How would you like to get from where you are now to where you truly want to be? So that's it for today's show. Find me on Facebook at Emotions Engineering. Check out emotionsengineering.com/dream job to sign up for an upcoming webinar where I got a lot of great things to share with you. So have a good day.